Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Over to you, Dustin. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joe. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, today we're going over Zoom Phone. So I'll be talking about how to configure this in your web portal. Don't worry, configure is a strong word. It's going to be pretty simple. And then how to use Zoom Phone in your Zoom client on your desktop, so on your computer, and then as well how to use Zoom Phone on the mobile app. So those are kind of the three different sections of the training. We'll start with the web portal. When I say web portal, that's just your Zoom account on a web browser. So you all would log in here at ucr.zoom.us and sign in just as you normally would with your net ID. Once you've signed into your Zoom account, here's a snapshot of what that looks like. You have a phone tab on the left-hand side navigation bar. If you click that, the very first time that you open this phone tab, this is what you will see. So it kind of just prompts you to look over a few introductory pieces of your configuration, which is like your country and area code. You're just going to verify that those are correct, as well as your time zone. And then you can customize this at this time. You can set up a PIN code to check your voicemail by phone. So if you're not at your computer and you saw an email that you received a voicemail, you could call into your own phone line and check your voicemail with that PIN code. So once you've done that, you'll just click Set Up. That'll take you here. Now, these are the primary tabs that you will have: History, Voicemail, Recording, and Settings. We're going to live in the Settings tab here just for today. And we're not going to cover every single line and every single setting that you can manage here because your admins, your IT team, along with our Zoom project team, has worked hard on configuring and kind of pre-setting a lot of these configurations for you. There are a few that you can customize those. So that's what we're going to go over today. The first one is your personal emergency address. So the primary emergency address will already be set here, and your personal emergency address is, maybe you're working remotely from a home office. You can set that kind of second emergency address there, so that if you do dial out and place an emergency call to 911, the dispatcher will be can easily identify your address at that time. Second on this page is your business hours. So setting your business hours is a great first step, because after you do this, you can kind of choose what happens to phone calls during those hours. So if somebody calls you during your business hours, which might be 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever it might be, you get to customize what happens to that call. So for example, once you set your business hours, as you can see, this one is this example is 9 to 6 Monday through Friday. You can edit your call handling. However, you'll want that to be set to Zoom applications, and that should be the default. But after that, you can choose if you want simultaneous ring mode. What happens when a call is not answered? So if you don't get to the call in time, what happens if it goes to your voicemail or goes somewhere else? So those are some options there. The next thing that I want to cover is your closed hours. These are basically opposite of your business hours. So then after you set up the closed hours, you can choose what happens to calls that are placed in those designated hours. So if you click edit there, you're able to forward those straight to voicemail and that sort of thing. Next is your audio library. So this is for your voicemail greeting. Your voicemail greeting is the greeting that a caller would receive if they don't reach you and that they go to your voicemail. You can add that audio in your settings here. If you click add audio, gives you a couple options there. You can record by computer. That's probably going to be the most common method there, because you can just record what you want to say and post that there. Unless you already have a file that you would like to upload, you can do that there, or choose text to speech. Next, you can set up your holiday hours. So these are, you have your business hours and your closed hours, but your holiday hours are those special holidays that don't abide by business hours or closed hours. So, we have Labor Day coming up. If you want to set a different call handling flow for that holiday, you just enter that, select the date, and then you're able to edit how those calls are routed during those holiday hours. Next is delegation. So if you need to assign a delegate to your phone line, so this would be like if you have an assistant or a TA or something that might take calls for you or place calls for you, you can assign those delegation privileges to them here. If you just start typing in their name, it will search the directory at the university, and then you can send them an invite. You can also decide what you want the delegate to be able to do. So in this case, my delegate would be Sean Gordon. I could allow Sean to place calls for me, or I could disallow him from doing that. You just choose by either checking that box or disabling those boxes there. If you are being assigned as a delegate for someone else, this is what that would look like. So you get a pop-up notification in your web portal that says you have a delegation request, and you can accept that there. There's some other settings here as well. You can kind of scroll through those and search on your own to see what you'd like to kind of customize. All of these you'd be able to find support documentation on Zoom's website that walks you through the different options here. Looks like someone is unmuted. Is that you, Elias? Picking up some background noise from Elias. Okay, thank you so much. You can here you can edit your PIN code, that one that we set up there to begin with. You can view a blocked list. So if you've blocked any callers for like spam calls, those kinds of things, you can also edit your hold music there. All right, moving on into the desktop client. Take a quick pause. See if there's any questions for me. Okay. Looks like we're good to keep moving. Thank you all for helping answer your questions in the Q&A. All right, so your Zoom desktop app, this is your Zoom client on your computer. This is where you're going to be able to place calls and receive calls. So you're probably familiar with this this app if you've used Zoom for meetings. You have and you will have a phone tab when you're on your go live date. You'll see that phone tab. So that's where you can place calls. We'll show you what that looks like here in a second. First, I want to show you a few settings in your client. So you have a little gear icon here on the top right-hand corner. If you click that, it pulls up this menu where you can change some settings. Here also, you can disable or enable your call queues. So if you are in a specific call queue, and you're taking a lunch break or whatever, you're away for a little bit, you can turn that off so that you won't receive any calls that are routed to that specific call queue at that time. When you get back online, you can just turn that back on. But let's look at a few of these settings. This window will pop up once you click settings. I want to look at audio. So if you click audio, it shows your speaker and your microphone. You may have adjusted these or changed these for Zoom meetings, but this also applies to Zoom phone. So you can change your speaker where that's coming through. So if you receive a call, you can choose if it's a headset or headphones, or like a conference speaker that you want to connect, or your microphone as well if you have a headset. I want to call out this one here, which is use separate audio device to play ringtones simultaneously. So what that means is that let's say like I have a pair of headphones that's connected to my computer almost all the time, and I might be doing work, answering emails or whatever. If I receive a call, I might not want that call to come in through my headphones, but through maybe my MacBook speakers. I can click that, and that way you can choose a different audio device, and that way when a call comes in, it's ringing a separate device than your primary speaker is set to. So that's what that setting is for. You can also suppress background noise. If you've never seen this before, there's an option for you to, I always just set mine to high so that it suppresses any noise from my dog or my kids in the background. So you can always do that, and it works pretty well for calls and for meetings also. So if you click the phone tab, it shows you some information here, like your direct number, your main company or university number. You can change the default for calls. You'll definitely want that set to zoom.us. The option I want to call out here is this checkbox to hide incoming calls while in a meeting. So if you click this box, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, we're in a webinar right now. If I had this box checked and I received a phone call while I'm in this webinar, it would hide it so that I'm not distracted with a phone call pop up on my other screen while I am in a webinar or a meeting as well. The next one is to allow Zoom to access your location. So we do recommend that you check this box if it's not on by default, because of emergency services. So if you kind of hover over that little question mark, it'll kind of tell you what the purpose of this is. But it does allow you to, it does allow Zoom to assist emergency response services in determining your location. So like we talked about earlier, your emergency address, this will actually ping your direct location based on the network that you're connected to. So it's just easier for dispatchers to route that call to the correct location if that ever happens. All right, next is looking at your phone tab. So this is where you can place calls, you can view calls that have come in, your call history, your voicemails, any shared lines that you're a part of, and as well, if you have access to SMS, that would show up here also. So kind of just a high level overview. Like I said, you have your call history. You can do a few things here with anyone who has who you've been on a call with or received a call from. You can call them back here, or you can click the three dots and you can send them a text message. You can copy their number. You can block that number. Let's say it might be a spam call or something like that. So a few different options. If you're on a newer client version, you may have even more options than that, but these are definitely hitting some of the highlights there. We'll get to the keypad here in a little bit, but your voicemail, if you have any voicemails that have come in, you can see those here. You can play that, you can call that person back, or you can see the automatic transcription. So it does automatically transcribe these voicemails into text, and you should also receive an email whenever you get a voicemail also. Next is your shared lines. So if you if you're part of a shared line or a delegate here, you can see the different lines that you're a part of. Also, if you're dialing out and you are, let's say you're part of a call queue or a shared line, you can choose or change the caller ID that you're calling out from. So if you click the little drop down arrow here, it shows you if you want to dial out from your direct number, so your own personal phone number, the main company line or UCR's main line, or if you, like I said, are a part of a shared line, you can dial out from that line as well, or you can hide your caller ID altogether. So that's nice. If you don't want anyone to have your direct number, you can change that to the main UCR line when you're placing a call. All right, let's look at some active call walkthroughs. So an active call walkthrough is, when you're on a call, when you receive a call, what happens? What are some of the options? So this is what it looks like when someone calls you. You get a pop-up, this little box here. It shows who's calling, and it shows who that call is for. So like I said, if you are part of a call queue or a shared line, it might not be your personal number, but they may be calling in to that queue or to that shared line. You can see that information there, and then you can accept or decline the call. Once you are on the active call, there's a few different options here. You can mute your microphone, you can select the keypad, you can change your audio input, you can add a call, hold, place that call on hold, transfer the call, you can elevate that to a meeting, and more. So if you click more, you have the option to park the call. You can place it on hold for another user to pick it up. You can invite that person to a Zoom meeting, or you can minimize the window. So let's look at adding a call. So if you click add call, that would actually add another party to the call. You can just search their name, or if you know their number here, most likely you're going to be searching their name. If you start typing their name, it will show who that person is. So in this case, typed Marie. We find who the correct Marie that we want to add, and we'll click to add her to the call. When we do that, it places the original caller on hold, and it calls Marie. So then we can, once Marie answers, you can tell her, hey, Marie, I need your help with this call, or I want you to be a part of this call, so I'm adding you. And you'll have the option once she answers to merge the call. So when you click merge, it'll then take you back here, and it shows you have Marie and the original caller both on the line. So now you're in a three-way call with all parties there. So that's adding a call. The next we'll look at is transferring the call. So this is transferring it from yourself to someone else. So similar flow, when you click transfer, it'll pop up this search function here. You can start typing their name. So if we want to transfer it here to Sally, we'll click her name. And then you get a couple options here of how you want to transfer this call. So a warm transfer is you get to talk to Sally before you send her the call. You can say, give her context or background of what the call is all about, and then transfer it to her. You can do a blind transfer. So you don't talk to Sally at all, you just send her the call. Maybe they're expecting calls like that you can just blind transfer it, or you can transfer it directly to their voicemail. If you are aware that they are out of office or not around to take the call, you can send it straight to their voicemail. All right, so a warm transfer is very similar to the add a call function, where it places that original caller on hold. It calls the person you're transferring it to, so you can talk to them. Once you have explained whatever you need to say, you just click complete transfer, and it'll give you a pop-up notification there that the transfer was successful. All right. Next, I want to look at blocking callers. So maybe you received a spam call, somebody trying to get you to sign up for an extended car warranty or something like that. You can block that number. If you click the three dots next to that number, hover over block caller, and then you can block that person for a spam call. Earlier, we looked at in the web portal that you can view the list of blocked callers. So you can see all the phone numbers that you have blocked in your web portal, so that it does compile a list there. If you ever need to unblock someone, if you accidentally did that, you can change that in the web portal. All right, before we move to the Zoom mobile app, I'm going to take a quick pause, take a quick drink, and look at the Q&A here. Let's see if there's anything for me.
Hi, Dustin. Can you just show them one more time how to change the outbound caller IDs, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
All right. Changing the outbound caller ID. So you can see it here on this slide, and it's underneath your keypad. It shows caller ID, and it shows if you were to just place a call right now, what number would show up as the outbound caller ID. If you click that little drop down arrow, I know it's kind of difficult to see. I can even grab my spotlight here to show you that little drop down arrow. Let's see if I can find the exact slide where it showed that. But it will give you the option to change your caller ID. So this is the box that will pop up. You can choose the default, which is your own number, your direct number. You can change it to the main company number or anyone you're a part of a shared line with, or you can hide your caller ID altogether. So I know it doesn't show it very well on this slide, but it's this option down here underneath your keypad. Thank you, Shalaja. All right. Let's see if there's any other questions. Eric, can you transfer the block list from one number to another? No, I don't believe you can do that. So you're asking, I guess, if you have a list of blocked numbers, if you can transfer that from one user to another. The answer is no, I don't believe you can do that. And then there's a question about Zoom privacy, allowing them to know my location and the privacy implications. That one we'd probably need to follow up with just some documentation on that. Romina or Shalaja, do we have something on that we could send over? I'm sure I could dig something up as well, but maybe we just follow up there.
I was trying to find something on that. Yeah. Yep. I'll find something and share it.
Thank you, Romina.
Yeah,
Like,
the privacy, right?
yes,
Yeah.
that option that we were talking about to allow Zoom to access your location.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so there was a question that was being asked about adding the vacations as holiday hours, and my apologies for creating the confusion. I said yes, and to my understanding, yes, you can add your vacations under the holiday hours ahead of time at a user level. And I think what Elias is saying is that no, is because what he thought is like you can add them at the account level, but at the same time, you can do it for the user level as well. So in order to add your vacations as holidays, you have the ability to add them under your own account, which won't show up on other people's account. So yes, you can. Hence the answer is yes.
Got it. Thank you so much for that. All right. A few other questions have come in, so I'll answer a couple. We'll have time as well for Q&A after this last section on the mobile app, but someone asked if you need to use headphones. You don't have to use headphones. So the audio settings that we went over in your Zoom client settings, you can choose whatever you would like to use. You can just use your computer speakers and microphone. You can use headphones or a headset if you would like, but it is definitely not required. All right, I'm going to get back to the training content, and we can follow up with any open questions here at the end. So the Zoom mobile app, we've went over the web portal and the desktop client on your computer, and now the mobile app. So another way to access Zoom Phone straight from your mobile phone. So you can download the Zoom app from, just like you would download any other app on your phone, whether it's iPhone or Android. Once you download the app, you can sign in with your FSO, which you just enter your UCR credentials and access your account that way. Once it's logged into your account, you will have a few tabs at the bottom. So you'll have Zoom Meeting or Zoom Chat as that first tab. The next one should be Zoom Phone. Once you press on that one, you'll see it's very similar setup and kind of look and feel as you would see in the Zoom client. A little bit different, but you still have the same 4 tabs: history, voicemail, lines, and SMS. You can see your call history, and you can filter those there. And then you can also access your keypad here in the top left. If you press on the 3 dots next to a phone number or a contact, you have some options to call them back, view their profile, or copy their number, or delete that from your history. Under voicemail, this is what that tab looks like. Very similar to the Zoom client, where you have who placed the voicemail. You can call them back and see the transcription there, or you can delete it there as well. This is what your shared lines look like. And then your keypad, which I'll go back one here. It's this icon here is your keypad. So if you click on that, it takes you here. You do have the option to search your directory to place a call. That's this little icon here. It looks like a person. On the mobile app, you are able to change your caller ID also from your personal number to maybe the main university line or another one, or you can hide your caller ID there as well. All right, so let me go over, if you need support, you need additional resources as you are adjusting to a new phone system. We have tons and tons of content in our or on our support site. If you go to support.zoom.us and you just search whatever you're looking for, most likely you'll find what you need. There are it'll search our support site, our blogs, our even our community site to see if anyone else has asked that question. So you just search in one place and you find any sort of content that we have, it will show up in the search results. So if you need anything, have questions about certain settings in your account, there's also some videos and tutorials there as well to help you with Zoom Phone. All right, so let's get to some questions, and Shailaja, also feel free to answer any of these live as well. John asked, what are the basic needs for the computer for this system? None of my staff have microphones on their computers. Yes, so a microphone would be a requirement for placing a call or answering a call. You can always connect headphones or use the mobile app. For that, you can find under your audio settings. That's where you can connect any external headset or headphones to your computer. See, anonymous attendee asked, or do I need to install the app on my phone for this to work? I might have missed the first part of that. Maybe need some context, some more context to answer that question. If anyone else saw that and can answer it, please do.
Yeah, I was gonna try to find what the original question was to that. Or do I need to install the app on my phone for this to work? Oh, let me see if I could chase that down.
Okay, no problem. Gloria, yes, the training is being recorded and will be sent out to you. And Maria asked the same question. Yes, this will be this recording will be sent out to everyone who registered.
Yeah, there have been quite a few questions regarding why we are not seeing the Zoom phone yet. You will be absolutely before August 31st, which is the go live, which means that all the phone numbers for all of you users will be transferred to Zoom. Basically, we are going to be your carrier. That is what go live means. The calls are going to route through Zooms, inbound and outbound, both directions. So if you do not see a phone yet on your desktop client or cell phone app, it is most probably because you have not been assigned to Zoom phone yet. Please look forward to that, hopefully by the end of the day and definitely before the go live date, which is the August 31st. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you for that, Shailaja.
Yeah, for any international calling or anything that you would like to have, let Elias and his team know, and do let them know what type of calls or which countries do you generally dial. So I don't believe that international calling is enabled by default for all the users. And if it is, then also some countries may not be allowed. Let him know, and we can get those countries enabled because those calls are charged. So we're a little bit mindful of giving permissions to who can dial where.
Perfect, thank you. And Claire, your question is a laptop PC, something I must download an app to. Maybe I'm not fully understanding the question, but I think if what you're asking is the Zoom app, if you have to download that on your PC, if your PC is managed by UCR, you should already have the Zoom app. If not, you can download that on our website. You should go to zoom.us/download. If you don't have the Zoom app on your computer or your PC, you can do that there.
Also, if any phone number that is assigned to a shared line group or is assigned to a certain or a hunt group kind of scenario, that hunt group will have a name like advising services or office or registration. Anytime you're going to be getting any inbound call coming into that number, you will see the name as well. And also when you're choosing it as an outbound caller ID, it will only show up as a phone number. It would not show up as advising office or any of that to the person you're calling. It will show the phone number only. So Michael Adams, you're asking, how do you guys know what my mobile number is? I really don't follow the question.
Yeah, we won't know what your mobile number is, Michael. I believe you might be referring to like we've talked about like your personal number. If you know that's what you're referring to, that's just the number that you've been assigned by UCR.
Yeah, and William Maines is asking, if you're working from home, somebody already answered. Okay, if you're working from home, you can use the same extension that has been assigned to you, and it's the campus number. All you need is the desktop client needs to be installed, and when you log in, whatever extension, the ID or shared line group or hunt group you're part of, that will all be still the same. It does not matter where you're logging in from. It just is your credentials that are important. Basically, the account you're logging in from will follow the device you're logging into. So you do not need a separate phone number just because you are working from home. Whatever is assigned to you, same can be used both at office and also from home. The hardware pieces like the desk phones and stuff will stay where they are actually physically located. Initially, there was a question that was asked for an example of a personal emergency address. A personal emergency address is the address that a user enters. It can be a home address. It can also be one of the campus addresses that you get to select. The difference between a campus default address and personal address is that campus default address is available for every user in the account to choose from, and an admin adds those addresses. Whereas a personal address is only visible and is selectable by the user who's entering it. Your home address is not visible to Elias or me. Mine will not be visible to you, and these are called the personal emergency addresses. Yes, if you have Wi-Fi problems and stuff like that, or you have any kind of network issues, it will also affect the Zoom phone.
Looks like there's a question from Sean regarding desktop phones that some of them will be moving into the new School of Medicine building in September, and some users don't have desktop phones. They want to know how will that work?
Yeah, as part of the communication, we send out a link to order any desktop phones. So it's just a normal campus work order, telecom work order. posted on the FAQ page, there are the different models of Polycom phones available. So they just submit that order like they would a regular phone order. But if they have any questions, by all means, give us a email at the Zoom phone pilot at ucr.edu.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Mhm. So somebody else is asking if they're logged into Zoom, but the computer goes to sleep, it will not ring. But if you have call forwarding to your cell phone, it will transfer the call to your phone, correct? That's if you're not logged into the client. The call, and I don't know, Shalasha, correct me if I'm wrong, but the call should forward to the cell phone, like if
Yes.
yeah, okay, even though the person's logged off, right?
Yep, it doesn't matter. You're just not logging off from a client means you're not available to take a call on the client. It does not mean that the call will not ring or it will not go to the voicemail. All of those settings are set up under the user settings.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then Phil asked, how will Zoom handle UCR emergency notifications? Is it a call or text? Anyone on the UCR team know the answer to that one?
That's actually something I don't believe we've discussed yet as far as the emergency notification system. Sherry, has that been discussed at all that you're aware of? I don't know if she's available to answer. No, we'll have to take that offline. Good question.
Okay. We've got quite a few in here. Looks like some of you are typing answers to those. Let's see. So Sydney asked if we can set up a phone tree. Does anyone know?
Yeah,
Answer to that one.
typically, setting up a phone tree sounds like an auto receptionist, or that's typically like an admin that can help set that up for you. Or I'm not sure if you can also set up your own call routing, like set up your own business hours or call forwarding. I think we need probably more information
Yeah.
on that, right?
Yeah, there was a question like, why do we need to input emergency addresses then? I don't understand the then part, but you do need to input emergency addresses in the scenario where your current location is different from the default address. Everybody who's assigned to Zoom phone automatically gets the default address. Now you move to home, the system will prompt you to change the address because you're not in your office. And if you pick up a phone or basically start dialing 911 using your desktop client, the system is going to send the PSAP dispatchers to your default. So you probably want them to come to your home because that's what it is. Just an FYI, if you pick up a phone, your cell phone specifically, let me reiterate it. If you dial 911 using your cell phone, it will take the carrier as the routing. The call is not routed via Zoom. Any emergency call that has been placed using the desktop client one and your desk phone, the hardwares that are in Zoom phone, will only use the Zoom as the routing for emergency calls to the PSAP. So for desktop client and your desk phones, you will need to make sure that you do have the correct emergency address set up when dialing a 911 call. And the system has the ability, we have set it up in a way that it will prompt you to make sure that you either put the new address or verify the current address if that's what it is.
Perfect. Someone asked, I work where there are many areas with poor or no cell service. If the call goes to my cell and I don't answer it, will it then go to voicemail? You have the option to configure that in your own settings. What happens if the call goes unanswered? You can definitely route it to your voicemail. So that's up to you. We covered that during the first portion of the training. If you go into your phone settings and your Zoom web portal account, you can customize that under call handling there. And then someone else asked, will third-party callers be directed to Zoom to complete a call, or will the call look normal on their side? So it'll just look like a normal call on their side. So it'll connect via whatever carrier and device they're using on their side. They won't know that it's Zoom is the carrier on the other end. So it will be normal for them. Alan, your question about requesting hardware, Joe covered that earlier. He can help you with that. You should have received a notification or a communication that went out that has more information on the FAQ there.
So Elias, are you allowing everybody to have international calls by default?
No, we just need an email to enable that feature for them. But currently everyone is blocked right now. It just takes
Okay.
an email to us and we'll enable it.
Maria Tiffany Vicuna is asking about the lab. Would we get a Zoom number for each employee? Because right now we just have one extension for the whole lab. I don't know, Elias, if you know off the top of your head.
We would replace the phone for the lab, and it would be the same. So the lab would just have their particular number, because you have a lot of student staff.
Oh.
So that would be the standard. Right now we're doing a 1-for-1. So if you had a physical phone, we're changing that physical phone number for that, whether it's a department or a lab, front desk area.
Okay.
So there was a question, if you receive a call and want to change it to a Zoom meeting, how will you know if the caller has access to video call options? So basically, the Elevate option to a Zoom meeting is available between Zoom to Zoom callers. If you have a caller who's calling outside of Zoom, that option will probably not pop up because they need an invite from you to be able to join the meeting.
There's a question for who's paying for the phones. As far as right now, the transitional period, the phones are not being charged. And I think the university later down the line is going to establish the cost. But as for right now, there is no charge.
Looks like Sean Christensen, there's a couple entries here, is asking for another train. Will there be another training? it's just this one, right? Joe?
We do not have another one planned, but again, to reiterate a couple things that may have gotten cut off at the first of the call. Yes, the training will be posted to the FAQ page. It'll be live no later than tomorrow morning. Also, I want to make sure that everybody heard that the go live event for this group has been pushed from this Thursday, the 24th, to next Thursday, the 31st. So if anyone was late or didn't make it to that piece, just make sure that that's well understood.
And even after the training, if you have any questions, you could email us, me or my team, and I could answer your questions one-on-one if need be. We're here to help you in any way we can to help with this transition.
And you'll notice in the communication that comes out that we have a generic email box, Zoom phone pilot at ucr.edu. So that goes to several folks. So if you just get the habit of using that, we'll make sure that that we get you answers.
Plus, also to let you all know, on the day of the cutover, we will have a triage set up. The number will be on the communication, and me and my team will be available from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. on Thursday of the cut, Friday the day after, and the following Monday. So you should be able to reach us by email or even calling the number on the communication, and we'll be able to help you in any way we can.
There's a question related to the call center. There's a Zoom user that works at the Path building. Let's see, because contact center, we already cut over. I don't know, Elias, if you can, it's the first question there. Path building.
To Path building. Which group is this?
Working for the call center.
UC Path, I believe, was what was referenced.
I don't remember UC Path requesting contact center. Currently, the only teams that we have on contact center are financial aid, undergrad, student business services, TAPS, the concierge service. As of right now, that's all we have. Maybe UC Path will be transitioning later down the line, but as of yet, there's not any UC Path.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dustin.
Just to let me clarify something also. I mean, okay, we have contact center and we have Zoom phone. They are two different products. Contact center is more of a call center setup, whereas the phone is just like a traditional phone. I know they both have Zoom in the beginning of the title, but it is a little confusing, but they are two different products. So if you have one number on contact center, that number is not going to be on Zoom phone or vice versa. They're two completely different products.
Let's see, campus phone numbers change. There's a question from Dan regarding whether their campus numbers will change. Dan, we are not going to change your number, so everything that you have currently will be ported over to Zoom.
It looks like we're right at time, so I think we can try to wrap these up here.
It's okay. Oh, there's a concern about the service disruptions on campus. How would that affect the ability to make and receive calls?
Yeah, I would remind that we have had a couple major outages with the legacy phone system. So, you know, so far, no issues with Zoom phone to that scale.
Let's see what Tracy says. There's going to be a one-to-one change. So if you had one phone number for your lab, then you will still have one number. Can we still separate this into separate lines within that one number? So it sounds like maybe you want to do like maybe a ring group, I believe. Elias, do you know if I'm not sure what department Tracy's at or
Tracy, you could definitely reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll give you some clarification. We could really work with you on it. I just need to understand your question better. So please reach out to me on the email, or once you're on Zoom, you could also chat with me on the team chat. Just look for my name, Elias Lopez. My net ID is ELIASL, and I'll be able to answer any questions or concerns you might have.
All right, I think that we're over time now.
You want to, should we just kind of close out with those questions left? Oh, okay. Looks like
Let's
we
answer
just
what we can real quick. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. If a PI has a desk phone and a lab phone shared by lab personnel, only their desk phone is transitioned to Zoom phone. I'm not sure what PI stands for. So
Yeah, basically the question is for Elias that if they're part of one of the group, but they also are part of a shared line group and also other things, is everything moving at the same time so that they start receiving calls on their Zoom phone? So that is something that Elias, you can answer for her because or him because we don't know what all things Estella, right? I think I missed the name. I'm really sorry about that.
When we sent out a request earlier to the transactors, we wanted the call flows or how departments are working, whether you're part of one number or your shared line, you have your own extension. So we only have the information that we were given. Now, if when we transition over, you need to create a group or something, please just reach out to us. It'll be easy for us to fix, but we were only given so much information. Some of the records we have where instead of using your personal extension, it was using the main number when we looked you up. So we will work with you and we will get everything corrected. We could only configure everything with the information that we had. So please understand that. But we will get everything working for you.
And last but not least, there's one more call regarding 911. If there is an outage, will Zoom still be able to let us call 911?
Yeah, as of now, no,
ahead.
because we do not have anything in place. But in future, if they ever have the survivability or the option for redundant network, then yes, that would be possible. But as of now, no. So please, we always encourage people to use their cell phones because it doesn't go through Zoom, and you should be able to finish that or get the call completed for 911.
All right.
All right, folks. Well, I appreciate everyone's time, as do we all. Hopefully everyone found this valuable. A reminder, again, the message or the training and the deck will be posted to the FAQ page. Everyone will receive a link tomorrow morning with that information. And again, Go Live has pushed 1 week. So thank you all very much for your time. We look forward to working with you. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the Zoom phone pilot at ucr.edu email address with any questions. And we will be in touch over the next week. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.